Okay, so I definitely did my homework on this one last night. I stayed up very late, as you guys can see. I got the bags under my eyes for a reason. Um, this topic was very personal for me because I personally have dealt with cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome. But I think this video could help a few of you not deal with it. And I'm gonna give you guys some rundown of actually how to avoid it, and ways of spotting it out. But first off, I wanted to say that you should treat weed as a reward system, not something that is going to harm you. This is a tool to be creative, to stay relaxed, to deal with mental health problems, and many more different things. So I hate to see something that should be used as a tool to help you get used as a tool to hurt you. Me personally, I was smoking for a very long time, consistently, basically all day, so I'm not surprised that I got it. But I think it was a reason that I did get it, and the reason is to educate you guys on it. And I'm going to start off by saying most people would assume that there is no side effects from smoking weed, but there is. The one that is very, or there is, and you guys might be surprised about how dangerous the disease actually is. Usually it will lead to long-term vomiting. You will be vomiting for basically a whole day straight, maybe two, maybe three, and usually the vomiting doesn't stop until you go to the doctors and get like a IV, or somehow they rehydrate you. Personally, when I've had it, I've had to go to the hospital, and I've actually spent basically a week in there one time. And if I'm just being honest, I've been to the hospital a few times because of cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome. I didn't seem to get it right away. I thought that they were bullshitting. I thought that they were just saying that weed is the problem and just trying to push it into that corner, like, oh, don't smoke weed, we don't want you to smoke weed. And I didn't take it serious. I didn't take it serious at all, if I'm just being completely honest. I thought that they were just talking to talk. But it's serious. It is serious. It's more than serious. It's actually very detrimental to your health in a lot of very different ways. You when you throw up, you obviously will lose a lot of weight, and that's not good. It's not good to just keep gaining and then losing, gaining and then losing, gaining and then losing. But the vomiting will last in your stomach until your stomach is completely empty, and it still may continue and lead to you throwing up blood. Basically, the acid, the acidic stuff in your stomach will start almost putting holes in your lungs, not your lungs, but in whatever passageway it is for the throw up to come up. It will start making, maybe not holes, but it will start making cuts and stuff. And there was this one time that I was throwing up, and it was actually the last time that I had it. I was throwing up literally straight blood basically the whole time, and I had one of those like smaller trash barrels, like full of blood. I was in a lot of pain, to say the least. I was definitely not enjoying myself. But okay, so if the way to get it to stop is by stopping smoking weed for about 1 to 2 months, and you can't smoke it at all throughout those 1 to 2 months. Don't touch it. Don't even think about weed, and it should go away. But the when you do go back to smoking weed, if you do go back to smoking weed, if you think that's necessary for you or whatever, definitely slow down with it, because if you just go right back into it, you start smoking an eighth a day, whatever it is, an eighth, quarter, a half, whatever it is. There was times in my past that I was smoking like a half ounce a day, no bullshit, and it was crazy. But you guys can probably put that together in your brain, how I was doing that, how I had the resources to do that. But if the only way it will stop is just stopping. It won't go away. It just won't magically disappear one day. You won't be able to just smoke enough weed and it'll just go away. Don't play tricks in your brain like that. I did. I played tricks in my brain where I was like telling myself like, oh, this will just magically disappear one day. It was basically the same thing as when I got diabetes. I thought that it sounds crazy. It definitely sounds crazy, but I'm also maybe not the most sane in the brain. But when I first got diabetes, I was thinking that magically, if I didn't take my insulin, if I didn't do the stuff, that I wouldn't have it. I thought that not feeding into it would mean that it wasn't there. So that didn't end well. I had a lot of problems with diabetes in my past, but now I'm actually doing very well with it because I learned how to manage it. The same thing with cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome. If you want to still smoke weed and not have to deal with cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome, where you start throwing up continuously until your stomach's empty, and it's not fun. When you are just throwing up repeatedly, you keep throwing up, that is not fun. Anyone that's any human has thrown up in their life, at least I would say at least 5 times. But think about throwing up about 30 times in one day, maybe more. That's not a good feeling. And each time when you're throwing up, it's not just like some light shit. You're gonna be throwing up a lot of stuff. It is very bad. It's very painful. I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. I would wish other stuff upon them, but not that. uh, uh, Usually, if you don't stop, it will come back every few weeks or every few months, depending how regularly you use the marijuana. If you were smoking all day every day, it will be back in about a week, maybe less, like a few days. That's real. But if you take a little bit of time off, then get back to it, it will come back in a few months. So you definitely have to take at least 1 month, maybe 2 months, 3 months, maybe a year. Just take it off, stop smoking for a little while, and let that tolerance go back down. So by the time you do start again, you'll be high as hell off one hit off a joint, and that's real. The first time it ever happened to me, actually, I was like, damn, wonder what will happen if I like take another couple weeks off of smoking. And I took like maybe 2 weeks, like maybe not even, but I went right back to smoking after those that short period of time, and it was almost too high. Like I was sitting there like, why did I ever smoke weed in the first place? Like I'm not in the right mindset right now when I was smoking, when I first smoked it, when I like had the tolerance break. But I mean, a lot of people will try to say that, oh, if I take hot showers, it will go away. There's a lot of people that like say that you can do all these weird little things to get it to go away, but that's just not true. I've tried them all. I tried them all. Trust me. I don't know. I love smoking weed. I think everyone that smokes weed loves smoking weed, and it's like not a bad thing at all. But it is a bad thing if you're not doing it in moderation. Anything in moderation. If you drink too much water throughout the day, you can drown yourself. So take that into account whenever you do anything. You should always do it in moderation. Never do too much of it, because then if you do too much of it, the love for it just goes away. You won't love it anymore. You won't love to do it. But overall, this issue usually only happens with people that smoke a lot every day, or at least once a day. But I have talked to people who say they weren't smoking every day. They were smoking like every other day or a few times a week, and it has happened to them. So I do have a theory that I think that the cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome could also play a part in the PGRs. The reason why I say that is because when they put these growth hormones into some strains. Okay, so the video just cut out on that last part. Basically, what I was saying is the steroids or the PGRs that they put inside the weed. It is altering the THC levels, and it is making it so that it is more potent, but it's not naturally potent. So it's having a lot of more chemicals and stuff that are already inside the weed. So I think that is definitely going to play a huge part, because technically the way that you get high from weed is the THC and the other chemicals that are inside of the weed alter your brain, alter your vision, alter your speech, everything. You're almost a different human when you're high. And with that being said, I believe that PGRs can play a huge part in actually getting cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome, but I have no evidence against that, so don't quote me on that unless later down the line you guys see that the study comes out that, oh yeah, PGRs and cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome are related, they're cousins. But the last little bit of information that I would love to give you guys, THC in general, as I just said before, the reason why it gets you high is because the THC and the other chemicals alter your brain and stuff, but they also alter your other organs in your body. If you are smoking weed and you already have digestive problems, then if I was you, I might think of rethinking how much you smoke, or if you should smoke at all, because THC actually plays a part in your digestive system. It can alter how fast you digest the food and how fast it gets released, if you guys know what I mean, that number 2. So definitely keep that in mind. You should definitely be worried about if you are smoking right before you go eat like a crazy sized meal. That is not smart. It is actually smarter to eat after you smoke, or before you smoke you were supposed to eat, because it won't make you so you just keep feeding your face, like you are just piling food in your system just because you're high. The munchies are a real thing for a reason. It is playing a part on your digestive system, so take that into account. That is always a good piece of information to just keep in the back of your head, because you never know when that needs to be presented. I've had bad digestive problems. That's actually another reason why I was in the hospital for a long time, and I would say that it is a good piece of information to always take into account, because you never know. It wouldn't be good to have some life-altering digestive problem just because of the amount that you're smoking. And you could always minimize the munchies you're smoking and not have the digestive problem. If that didn't sound right, then it's the way I'm saying it. But yeah, you get the best of both worlds, I should say. You can smoke a little bit of weed, not have the digestive problems, and live a nice life. But if you want to do this, if you want to smoke weed too much, then that digestive problem will alter your life. And altogether, I would say that cannabinoid hypermesis syndrome isn't something that you should be scared of. You shouldn't let this alter your decisions of not smoking weed ever again. You should just be smart about it. Every good thing in life has its pros and cons. It is just smart to always know what the cons really are, so that you can actually benefit from the pros. But I appreciate you guys watching this video. I'm sorry it had to take over 15-16 minutes. I'm not too sure how long this video is going to be, probably about like 17 minutes or so, and it is some information that you need to know. So hey, I took a little piece of your time, but I traded it for great knowledge that will benefit you very, very much in the future. But with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching this again, and stay blessed.